Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bridging the Gap. Make sure to leave a like on this video down below and subscribe. My name is Alvin. I lean right on most issues, and I'll be representing the Republican side.
My name is Luke. I lean left on most issues, and I'll be representing the Democratic side. Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be doing 2024 election prediction for the presidential elections. In this case, we're going to be assuming uh, it's a Biden v. Trump rematch because Trump is miles ahead in the Republican primary polls and Biden's running for re-election. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess might as well just edit this while we're at it. Um, boom. Oops.
Just like,
All
yeah,
right.
delete that.
Okay. And then we'll just put in Trump. But yeah, this is our first prediction of the new calendar year, so it's pretty exciting.
Hmm.
Not sure who Trump's gonna pick for VP in this prediction, but we're just gonna assume it's a generic Republican that he might pick and get on with the prediction. So last prediction we did was all the way back in July of 2023. And in this one we had Biden winning pretty big, 303 to 235. Back in July of 2023, things looked really good for Biden, but some things have recently turned around. The polling's got significantly worse for the Democratic Party leading up to 2024, but there are still many factors that go against Trump as well. And there's some legal matters that have developed too. So let's just get into it. Where do you want to start?
Um, I mean, there's maybe we start with like the those remaining New England states because I think those like are going to be pretty far to the left. Like going into 2024, maybe New Hampshire, why not?
Yeah. So New Hampshire looks like it's going to be pretty far Democrat. It's been trending left, although they do have some history of just being unfriendly to incumbents. Trump is just not liked among many New Hampshire residents. However, with when you have a lot of these independent candidates, the polling sort of tightens up. But mainly we've just seen a trend of New Hampshire moving to a sort of high likely to somewhat safe Democrat rating recently.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would say like the polling here is usually better for Biden. I think we've seen a lot of the country, like in terms of polling at least, move to the right. But I think this is one of the more consistent states in which the polling is pretty good for Biden. There's like a CNN poll that puts him up like plus 12. St. Anselm puts him up plus 10. So I'm like with the polling kind of going in the opposite direction. And also, we've seen recent elections in New Hampshire back in 2022 where the Democrats kind of destroyed all the MAGA candidates. I'm pretty confident New Hampshire is going to be like high single digits or maybe even double digits for 2024.
Yeah, I don't think it matters which one we put. It's going to Biden, and he should not be putting much effort into the state, honestly. All right,
Uh,
next we've got Maine.
yeah, Maine, like in 2020 went slightly to the left of New Hampshire. So I imagine uh, it'll be slightly to the left of New Hampshire yet again in going into 2024. Again, this is another case where Democrats did really well in 2022. I don't really see many signs of it moving to the right for 2024. Honestly, I could see it being just like outright solid. But although for that second congressional district in the north, because they split their electoral votes, I could see that specific district going to Trump. I mean, it went for Trump in 2020. Again, I don't think much has changed in the state. So yeah, I reckon that's like still likely red if you wanna.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we can just put Maine in safe for Biden. I don't think it's really going to be up for contention. But yeah, this Maine second district, I think it's going to go to Trump, but the margin there could vary based on just Maine local factors. I'm not an expert with Maine, so I wouldn't know. And also, it's going to be the first cycle where we have these new districts. So with Nebraska and Maine after the
Yeah, you're right.
2020 redistricting cycle. Some things can sometimes shift when these things redistrict, but yeah, I think that's a Good characterization. Maybe next we
Okay.
can go to Alaska because it's another one of these, bordering safe and likely states. But this time for Trump. And uh, in terms of Alaska, it's been slowly shifting to the left. And in 2020, as you can see, Trump barely held on to a safe margin in Alaska. And then since then, obviously, we had the election of Mary Peltola for the House in Alaska. Of course, it was ranked choice voting and everything, but it was done in Alaska. And so, do you think it goes within 10 points?
Yeah, I mean, Alaska like has been like just shooting to the left over the years. Like I think like in prior elections, like years ago, like maybe 2012 presidential election, it used to vote for Republicans by comfortable margins, like 20 points. I think even like one election it went to I think maybe even under like when McCain was running for president, it was even like higher than that. Um, but yeah, like it's just been shooting to the left. Democrats flipped the House seat there in 2022. I think I'm pretty confident Biden could shift this more than point 0.2 to beat his to beat his 2020 margins. I don't think he'll win the state of Alaska, but yeah, I think it'll go into single digits for 2024.
All right. And then let's just finish out with some pretty likely states to be likely. I think we can just go ahead and put New Mexico there. Virginia even has a case to be solid. And then for the Republicans, do you think we can just put Iowa and Ohio so that we can get to the real juicy states?
I think Iowa could even be solid, honestly, because like I mean, I don't think Democrats are really even going to try that going into 2024. Like I think it's pretty much gone for the Democratic Party, and the polling's been pretty solid for Trump there too.
All right, we'll just put that down then. Yeah, I was also just looking at the national polling. So yeah, some of this is interesting because in the last poll that we did back in July, Biden was leading basically all these averages, I'm pretty sure. But now it's obviously gone. Now all the averages are going for Trump. And we also have these third party candidates that shift it more, especially Cornel West, who is definitely going to hurt Biden in these swing states. But yeah. Let's go
Uh,
on. Do you want to finish out Nebraska second?
oh, Nebraska's second. Um, I think it got like ever so slightly more red with redistricting, but it's just been trending left. I think even like the Republican representative there almost got knocked off like in 2022, um, in his election. So I'm like I could see this like being like likely blue for Biden, maybe lean, like maybe less than 5 points. But yeah, I think Biden probably gets it. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to just go west to east, or what are we thinking here?
Um. Well, I mean, I think we should start with what we think is the most likely to go to a particular side. I think Florida is pretty clearly going to Trump. Uh, Florida's just been moving right. Like in 2022, Republicans notably stomped there. DeSantis got a double-digit win. Rubio got a double-digit win. I'm pretty sure all their statewide officials got double-digit wins. Um, can Trump get a double-digit win there? Maybe, but I think in 2024, Democrats are probably going to spend more, put more effort into to Florida. So with that in mind, I think it'll probably be a less than 10-point margin. But yeah, I think it's probably going like it's a likely for Trump. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can maybe also do that for Minnesota, but for Biden, I don't think Trump really has a chance in Minnesota. It's one of those states that's just, I guess we always mention it because it's less than 10 points, but um, I know the polling shows it's tightening up, but it's Minnesota. I think it's going to Biden by a likely margin. Maybe lean. Maybe lean.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that largely. Um, okay, where else? Oh, maybe I mean Texas. I think Texas is probably going red. I mean, it's been closening over this. Texas is a tough one actually because it's I mean we know it's going for Trump. Chances are. But
Yeah.
it's been trending to the left. So but like does Biden do better there than he did in 2020? I'm not sure. What do you what do you think on that?
I don't think so. I think Biden is in a much worse position now than he is in 2020. I think, before the 2020 presidential election, he was always leading in the popular vote. And even though people doubted the polls because of 2016, we always thought, Biden has a lead. But now even Trump has a lead nationally. And I think the national environment is going to push everything to the right, just a smidge. We also have Texas in 2022. It voted somewhat in line with the national average, and we also have just I think that the Democrats could take Texas in 2028. I think in 2032 would be very competitive, but I think in 2024, I don't think Lexus is going to be realized
Oh no,
this time.
yeah, but like,
Yeah, I think it could even be likely, but
yeah,
we can
it's
put
gonna be pretty close.
yeah. I
Just because of
mean,
trends, I think it's fair to put lean because a lot of those Texas suburbs are like shooting to the left. Um, so yeah, I agree with that. I agree with lean. Like if you're willing to put
yeah,
that there.
I think it'll be lean.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, next I think North Carolina is probably going for Trump. North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. Okay, so the thing is, in July we put North Carolina as tilt, Republican. I think now we can probably move it to lean.
Oh yeah,
What do you
yeah,
think about that? It's just,
definitely.
yeah. I mean, I think North Carolina is just not going to the Democrats this cycle. It's been generally just out of reach for Democrats. I do think the North Carolina Democratic Party is very competent. And yeah, there's a governor's election there this cycle too, right?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so
That
they could win that. Um,
that'll be close for sure. Yeah, but I think this is a state Trump won by around 1% in 2020. Republicans in 2022 got it to like a 3 point margin. So yeah, I think I think it'll probably stay around the same area in that lean kind of
yeah,
category, less than 5 points. Uh, Next, I mean, the next one I'm most like I'm pretty confident about is like Michigan. I'm still kind of bullish on Michigan going blue. Um, like
okay.
I think it's yeah, I would say it's a lean state this into the going into this cycle into 2024. My logic here essentially is compared to other swing states, the polling is slightly better here for Biden, for one. For two, the Michigan Republican Party is like kind of been like eviscerated like over the last few years. Like Democrats have just been sweeping statewide offices. We won by like 10 points in 2022. I think yeah, and yeah, just like their leadership is like kind of like having coups against each other in terms of like the Michigan GOP. So I think yeah, I think Biden's still favored to take Michigan, honestly.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think it could be pretty close. And no one expected Trump to take Michigan in 2016. So there's that. However, I agree with your points on the state party of Michigan, just being better in general. They had big wins in 2022 on the governor's level. And if you just look at all the states that are remaining, Michigan's the most likely of any of them to go for Biden. I think you could call these states like the final five or the final
Yeah.
six if you really talk about Michigan. But if there's any of them that are the last one to flip to Trump, it's going to be Michigan.
Yeah, I mean these okay, but after Michigan, like these last 5 year, I'm very 50-50 about because the polling has been shifting right, but a lot of these states as a whole have been shifting left. So like in general, like in terms of just like generic Democrats. So yeah, I think these are going to be kind of rough to characterize. Do you have a preference to where to start?
I will say I think Nevada is probably the one state that's not shifting to the left. Um, Generically, right?
Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
past cycles. Um, I think we can just go from west to east because all of these states are really close. We do just have you could say that they've been shifting to the left, but we've also just had by we I mean the Republicans have just had constantly losing cycles in the past few years. I mean, if you really compare 2020 to 2016 or 2018 to 2016 or even 2022 to 2016 or 2022 to 2020, you'll see that these states are shifting to the left, but the national environment was also shifting to the left, right?
Mm.
And yes, there's state trends, but I think a good amount of that is going to be negated. As of January of this year, right now, Trump is back into the lead in the national environment. Biden is not doing good on most issues. He's really only winning on abortion and social issues like that. But his presidency in general has been disapproved of by the American public for years now. I think as we go, we should take that into account. But starting with Nevada, I think this is the cycle that Republicans do flip Nevada. Okay. I think in 2022, we did have a split ticket in Nevada. I will be deferring Nevada, like I said before. Okay. Um, to the Nevada experts that predict Nevada right every time. But that's closer to the election. As of right now, I think we had in 2022 a split ticket where Democrats did win the Senate seat, but Republicans who kind of floated a somewhat moderate candidate took the governor's mansion in Nevada. And the shifts have been moving to the right ever so slightly, cycle by cycle. And I think at this point, Trump's favored there. He's favored in the polling. He's the trends show that the population centers in Nevada have been moving to the right, and we have Hispanic shifts to the Republican Party as well in Nevada. I think this is the cycle where Trump finally takes it. Maybe tilt, maybe lean.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think this is going to be a tilt race. Like it's going to be like, I mean, yeah. For those who don't know, a tilt race in our categorization here is like less than a percentage point, so basically it can go either way. Um, Nevada for me, I don't know. I'm skeptical that Trump could flip it. Why? Polling was also great for Adam Laxalt in the Senate race in 2022, in what was a year with higher Republican turnout, and he still lost to Catherine Cortez Masto. Um, I think with higher turnout, like that probably benefits, like compared to 2022 at least. I think that in this case it would benefit Democrats. But yeah, I don't know those shifts. I really could go either way on Nevada on this one. Like I'm 50-50. I'll just
I will
defer to
say
you here.
I will say, Catherine Cortez Masto, who, for those who don't know, was the incumbent senator going into the 2022 midterms, she had a fairly neutral approval rating in Nevada. And now we have Joe Biden, who's got a very disapproved of approval rating nationally and in Nevada. And so I think,
Well, Trump
obviously Trump's
has a
not
bad,
Trump's not Trump's
yeah.
not doing great either. Um, but I do think that this is the cycle. I think this is the cycle. I think this is the one. But it might just be like North Carolina for Democrats, and it's just never the cycle. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, okay. Since I'm 50-50, we'll put this tilt red. We'll do Nevada tilt red this for our
All
January
right,
prediction here.
something else
Okay.
might have to be a tilt blue here, but all right, let's go to Arizona.
Arizona is very interesting because I mean that Phoenix area is been shooting to the left. Mark Kelly in 2022 just won by like around 5 points. I don't know. Like Biden's unpopular again, in the and he barely won in 2020. But also like there on the flip side, there's the trends to the left. There's gonna abortion's gonna be on the ballot in Arizona. Chances are in 2024. Yeah, I don't know. Even with the polling, I'm still inclined to say I don't know. I think I'm still tilt blue on this one. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I'm very 50-50 on the state. We can go tilt blue. Um, Again, we have the data from 2022 that showed, obviously the Senate race was a lot more Democratic than the governor's race, which came down to like day two or day three of vote counting. I forgot.
Yeah, yeah.
But Arizona has been shifting to the left, and even though I think Biden will have a worse cycle this cycle than in 2020, I don't think that's enough. For Trump, and I think Arizona is going to continue to slip out of reach for Republicans in the future. So I think till Democrats fight for this.
Okay, where
All
to
right.
next?
So yeah, I guess we can go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin's an interesting one because, like, I mean, Democrats have been doing pretty good recent elections. Here also, I mean, like Tony Evers won in 2022. The Senate race was far closer than expected, even though Republicans won by a point. And then we flipped the state Supreme Court race last year in 2023. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm not really sure with Wisconsin here because I feel like Democrats have really been getting gains in those suburban
Yeah, I
areas
agree.
around
I agree.
Milwaukee and Madison. Uh, yeah, I don't know, honestly. What do you have any thoughts on this one?
I think, yeah, so we had really, really close races in 2022 when Republicans, had a favorable environment going against an unpopular incumbent. When it comes to Trump, um, Trump's always made Wisconsin a very close state. 2016 and 2020, Trump versus Biden and Hillary Clinton were very, very slim margins of victory. We can look at it here. So here it was. It might have even been the closest state. I'm not sure.
No, no, it
Um,
wasn't. But yeah,
no,
in
in
terms of
terms of like
oh
raw
yeah,
vote counts.
Bravo,
In terms
yeah,
of
because smaller
raw vote
population.
counts,
Yeah,
I think it was the closest state. But wait, if I can go over here to 2016, we also have Wisconsin being one of the closest states in general.
yeah.
And it's gonna come down to these Rust Belt shifts, I think, because we do have these Wisconsin and Pennsylvania voters that are not going to like Biden after uh the inflation of 2021 and just all the bad economic uh I could say sentiment. The American public has been viewing the Biden and Harris administration of being worse on economic policy compared to Trump. However, I don't know. I think Wisconsin has been, you mentioned the Supreme Court election in Wisconsin, and that was pretty favorable to Democrats. So it's really close here. I don't know.
And also, yeah,
Um,
the polling's really weird here. Like, because this one, like,
it is.
unlike like the other states, like Nevada, for example, this one's like really back and forth. Like, could this just be like a symptom of like? Because I don't know if you remember back in 2020, the polling was really wacky here in Wisconsin. Like, could it
Oh
just be
yeah.
something like that? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm not, I'm not sure what to characterize, what
Yeah,
to really
especially
make of
this
that
like
here. Yeah.
this the New York Times Siena College poll. I remember it was way off in 2020, and everyone was laughing. And this poll has Trump winning in every other swing state, but somehow losing in Wisconsin, right? So
Yeah.
it's
But they were
that's
accurate in 2022. Like the New York Times said it. So I don't know. Could it just be a Trump
it
factor?
it's I don't know. The polling's really weird. I could definitely go either way on this one.
Okay. Maybe Biden's incumbent. We'll give it to the incumbent for now. But this is like essentially like true toss-up for me. Like Wisconsin's like really, yeah. Uh Georgia, on the other hand. Maybe we go to Georgia
Georgia,
next. Yeah.
Georgia.
I don't know. I feel like Republicans have been doing, I mean, okay, Georgia's been trending left. I'll start with that. Especially in that Atlanta area. Warnock did pretty good in his race in 2022. Trump's not really liked here, and his influence is like has been shown to be kind of limited here compared to other states. Like, I mean, he tried to dethrone Brian Kemp, he kind of failed. I'm not sure though. That polling has been pretty starkly to the right, though.
Yeah, cannot ignore the polling, especially when you look at just how much it's, there was some hints of blue going into 2023. But
Yeah,
now it's all for Trump. You even have the third party candidates as well. And it looks really, really bad for Biden. We do have that 2022 data, like you said. I think generic Republican would definitely win Georgia here. Somewhat more aligned with establishment Republicans would definitely win Georgia. And we saw how Herschel Walker lost um, in Georgia in 2022, running on a very, Trumpy message. And the shifts are difficult to ignore, right? Like no one thought Biden would win Georgia in 2020, but would lose
That's true.
Florida, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know though because of all the polling, and I think maybe since we just gave Wisconsin, we might just have to give Georgia to the Republicans here to even it out.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Trump might slightly be favored in Georgia right now.
Yeah,
I like I kind of like, and especially like just like me, like looking around at like approval and stuff, Biden's is not doing great in terms of that in Georgia. I mean, I know Trump likely isn't either, but I think with two unpopular options, I could see Georgia just defaulting to a Republican option as it's more traditionally Republican despite the shifts. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I'm willing to put Georgia
yeah.
tilt R. And then finally for Pennsylvania, I mean, if we're putting like yeah, I mean PA is also going to be like really like very a laser thin kind of margin here.
I
Um
do think Biden's favored in PA. I
yeah, I
I
mean
really do.
Democrats
I
have
don't
been doing
know.
pretty solidly. Like I mean
Yeah,
even like just in 2023 like we won Democrats won the state Supreme Court race by around like 4 to 5 points. I mean I think that shows that at least generically Democrats are still ahead in the state.
generically for sure.
But yeah, like for Biden, it's probably going to be closer than that. But yeah, I think we're still the Democrats are still doing a good enough in PA where they have a ever so slight advantage over Trump. Biden has never like a very slight
Agreed.
advantage over Trump going into 2024. And
Agreed.
yeah,
I think I think
that's
that
pretty
I
much
think if you give PA, Pennsylvania to Biden, they can even afford to lose Wisconsin here and hold on to the presidency.
barely though. Barely,
Barely.
yeah.
Oh, barely. And so
Yeah.
it's gonna be really, really tight going into 2024. All these states, I think, could flip on a coin. There's such coin flips here. I think Pennsylvania is honestly the most Democrat out of any of them, like the most solid in any camp. But the other four states could go either way, and I do not
Yeah.
know where anything is going at
I mean,
all.
I think something I'm just like looking at her map and like I feel like this is kind of reflective of like again like the suburban shifts in like the Midwest like kind of helping Democrats and Republicans sort of gaining among voters of color like especially Hispanic voters, and that's why like the Sun Belt like is kind of like not
Yeah.
moving like as much like and we even see like Nevada flip here, Georgia flip back. I don't know, that's where it stands right now. I mean, a lot can change before 2024, but yeah, this is our initial prediction, I think. Yeah,
Yes, our first prediction. I really hope we get more polling, more data, maybe more special elections. We need anything we can get here
definitely.
to
Figure out this
aid a
2024
prediction.
environment.
But just right now, Biden 281, Trump 257. Trump improves on the old map by flipping both Nevada and Georgia and making every other race here much, much tighter.
Yeah.
Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all on a knife's edge could go to either candidate. Yeah, if you're in any one of these swing states, you better go out and vote because your vote's gonna matter. If you're not in a swing state, still vote for your local elections, but your vote probably doesn't matter in this one. So yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, everything. Thanks for watching.
See ya.